of power is not a crime. So now, take that same ideology and think about what they do to these people on the street.
Abuse of power.
When they abuse, when these cops abuse these people out here on the street.
Beat them up,
right.
Kill them, yeah.
So they're not really looking at it as much.
That's why the cops get off a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Abuse of power
is
not a crime. You hear this?
That's what he just said.
Okay? So when you see them young black men getting killed from abuse of the cops,
The word
they're not right.
The word done got out.
Yeah, but they're not really looking to really punish them that much.
Right, because the word done got out from former acting
Attorney General.
Yeah, abuse of power is not a crime.
He gave the green light.
They passed out the papers to them, so they already know they can do what they do.
Right.
That's
I'm going to boil it down to, the Constitution is very clear that this has to be some pretty egregious behavior, and they cannot tell the American people what this case is even about. Right? They have to do it in secret.
Yeah, and I'm reading this Bill Taylor opening statement.
So now, we're going to switch gears. I needed you to hear that so that you could see the mentality of these people. Okay? This is Shaitan speaking through people. I'm telling you. All right? But now watch. Here we go. Now, there's been talk, we've been talking about this thing about sovereign citizens. Right? And you were told that if you got stopped by the cops, you do what? What were you told? Roll down the window.
Right, and
Put your
Crack.
hands on it.
I'm not understanding
Put
what
your keys
you're
in
saying.
Okay. No, we were talking, and one of the people that came to the session, he said that what you do is if the cops stop you
What you talking about?
and say, right, I don't,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I don't stand, right? Isn't that okay?
I understand what you're saying.
But now watch
You
this.
asked
because
that to the cop?
You
That's
say it.
right.
When you come over.
This is what this guy said that you say to the police. All right?
He say
But
something to you.
now watch this. And now what I'm saying to you is this. Remember, these people don't respect the sovereignty of nations.
Nope.
So why would they respect your individual sovereignty? All right? Now watch this. Here we go. This is the first one. This is a sovereign citizen trying to go into a courtroom. Okay? Now watch this.
What's your first and last name?
I don't have a last name.
You don't have a last name?
No.
And what's your first name?
I don't have a first name either. I've got a name. My name is Robert. You can call me Robert.
Oh,
I'm not a person. See, you deal here with Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction, which deals with persons, which I am not.
what are you? Are you human?
I'm a man.
You're human?
I'm a man, yes?
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
You're not a U.S.
I
citizen?
was not born in Washington, D.C., or any territory of the under federal jurisdiction, so no, I'm not a U.S. citizen.
You were in the United States?
So these people, they believe that they live here, but they're not governed by the laws of the United States. All right?
Born in America, yes, I'm a state citizen of one of the several states.
There's more except
Yeah. He's like, what? Wait a minute. I gotta go back to school.
Idaho?
Can I see your Idaho state license?
No, I don't have one.
You don't have one?
My person does, but I don't. And I don't wish to create joinder with you.
All right.
He crazy.
And if you want to
Can I get your name, please? E. Smith, thank you. Are you a bailiff or are you a prosecutor? Oh, you're probably a bailiff. You got that ear thing in, huh?
Come on, folks. Have you heard what he did?
Yes.
Not starting up yet. We didn't have a seat on the bench here.
I'm gonna go in and speak with the prosecutor. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're blocking my freedom of movement.
I am.
Well, P. Barnes, you just admitted to me that you're violating my rights.
No, I'm not. You can't come in with the camera.
Well, you're violating my rights. And this is also freedom of the press.
I'm behind you.
This is also freedom of the press. I mean, I don't know what the hell law book you're reading, man, but it doesn't apply to me.
You leave the camera with the money outside the court.
Of course.
You're not God. You have no jurisdiction over me.
He'd have been locked up. He was black.
All right.
Yeah, black sovereign citizens too. All right.
Yeah, but
But now watch it. Now here we go. He said he's going in with his camera.
Uh-oh.
They're telling him he can't go
Gotta
in.
be on his ear before you
let's see.
know it.
Let's see how this works out.
Because you want to do something wrong? Because you want to do something wrong? Because if it's against the rules, that means it's because somebody intends on wronging somebody else. Because they're afraid of being held accountable. P. Barnes.
It's a nice speech, but you're still not coming in.
Well, I mean, I don't have to go in because you can't even issue a warrant for me.
You might as well leave.
Well, no, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to speak with the
You can go in
prosecutor.
there without the camera.
Well, please step aside. I'm going in.
No, you're not going in.
Don't touch me.
You're not going in, sir.
Let the record show that you just battered me
Step back.
and you're using...
Oh,
Stop, please. I'm not doing anything wrong. Hey, you know what? You guys are really overstepping your bounds right now.
Put the cuffs on him.
Put the cuffs on. What are you arresting me for?
Now. Okay. So here is the story on it. Okay.
only in Idaho.
Tonight, living outside the law. It may surprise you to learn there are a growing number of Americans living right here in the United States who insist that federal laws do not apply to them, including the 22-year-old who showed ABC's Dan Harris the radical lengths he's willing to go to fend off Uncle Sam.
I'm gonna go in and speak with the prosecutor.
It's 8:20 on a Monday morning at the county courthouse in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
You can't come in with the camera.
And the 21-year-old operating this video camera is trying to bring it into the courtroom where he's contesting a minor ticket.
I don't know what the hell law book you're reading, man, but it doesn't apply to me.
Watch what happens next.
I'm going in.
No, you're not going in.
Don't touch me.
You're not going in, sir.
Let the record show that you just battered me
Step back.
and you're using... Stop, please. I'm not doing anything wrong.
See, these people are creating a police state. Okay? They're creating a police state. So they're not worried about any of this stuff that these people are talking about with these laws and all this stuff. And like I said, they don't respect the sovereignty of nations, so why are they going to respect the sovereignty of an individual person? Okay? And watch it now because it's going to get interesting.
His name is Robert Peterson, and he says getting tased is a small price to pay for his belief that the American government has no authority over him. What do you use it for?
Just target shooting right now. I haven't had to shoot anything yet.
So you would never take a reaction that was like shooting cops or...
If they shooting me first, then shooting back would be a good reaction.
Robert is one of the latest and youngest people to latch onto many of the beliefs of a growing underground movement known as sovereign citizens. People who do not believe that many of the basic laws of this country apply to them.
I am not an American citizen. I do not recognize these. I am my counsel.
They have disrupted courtrooms, led police on high-speed chases, and even engaged in murderous shootouts with authorities.
Oh, God.
There are an estimated 300,000 sovereign citizens in America. The FBI classifies them as a domestic terrorist movement.
So, when you label yourself a sovereign citizen, the FBI labels you a domestic terrorist. So you just put a stamp on your forehead of being a domestic terrorist. Okay? So you have to be careful with information that you get from people. Okay? I'm only saying this because I don't want to see anybody get hurt, okay, in a situation. Alright? But now watch it. Here we go. Watch.
Then Many of these people followed a scary progression from passionate but peaceful to ultra-violent. So when we saw this video on YouTube, we wondered, were we witnessing the real-time radicalization of a 21-year-old on his way to violence?
You guys are really overstepping your bounds right now.
When we tracked him down, we found a young man who, on the surface at least, appears average. He lives in his mom's house with his 2 younger brothers. He rides his bike. But he also straps on a pistol every time he leaves the house, which is perfectly legal here in Idaho, and openly declares the local police to be his enemy.
Unfortunately, yes, they're the enemy. They're the enemy of anybody who wants to live free.
Produce the information that I require, or you will be placed under arrest for obstructing.
Robert's long series of run-ins with the cops began when he was 18 and got busted for making fireworks. That's when he went online and stumbled into a whole strange subterranean world of sovereign citizen ideology, which argues that the American government is actually a corporation profiting off of us, and that it is not necessary in many cases to pay.
Now,
We can't even have to pay taxes.
right, now, true, right? But at the same time, this is a police state. I'm telling you, they do not respect their own laws. They'll break their own laws in a second. They make their laws as they go along. I'll tell you what. If you get a chance, watch a video. It's on YouTube. It's called "America, Freedom to Fascism." Okay, and this was Aaron Russo, the guy that talked about the women's lib movement, right, and feminism and all of that stuff, right? He did a thing where he was searching to see if there was a law that said that we had to pay income tax, right? And he couldn't find a law.
Because it doesn't.
Right. But now when they had this court case, the judge ruled, he said, oh no, I don't care if there's no law. Okay? And the guy was found guilty. Okay? And they went in and took all of his possessions and stuff. So what I'm telling you is, these people don't go by their own laws. They don't go, if anytime you can go into a sovereign nation and do whatever you want to do, the way they went to Iraq,
Yeah.
right? They went over there under the pretense that they had these weapons of mass destruction, and then found out it was a lie. And then they were laughing about it. After all of those people were getting killed, and kids being born deformed because of the chemicals that they were using in the bombs that they were dropping on. Okay? So, I'm telling you, these people do not respect the sovereignty of nations, so they will not respect your individual sovereignty. Here we go.
That was America, Freedom to Fascism.
America, Freedom to Fascism. It's Aaron Russo. Aaron Russo. All right.
Union Charles, Ida 308.
Here's a traffic stop. All right. I just want you to hear a little bit of this conversation, and as you can see, what you were told to do was to pull your window down just a little bit and talk to them. All right. Say I'm not answering any questions and all that stuff. Right. Here we go. Watch.
It's not Gary? This is your vehicle? This is your automobile? Okay. So, do you know Gary then? Do you know? Okay. So, this goes back to, I ran the plate, comes back to a Gary. I ran what you had on the back of the vehicle, come back to a Gary.
So at one point of this, he told the guy that he doesn't answer any questions. All right? I'm going to fast forward just because I want you to see what happened in this situation. the sound. Oh, the sound out on it. So what he was telling was, he said, look, either you get out this car, or we're gonna send the K9 unit in on you. Okay? Now watch. I don't know why the sound went out. What's gonna happen to me?
Who's filming it? Another officer,
probably
police
another
officer or something?
Another police
Well,
officer.
how many people are going to
Look, watch.
Look. Send the K9.
Oh, he broke his glass.
Yeah. Broke the glass. And they told him,
Gonna stick the K9. Well, the dog already got it.
dog already took one.
Yeah.
Tearing the skin off.
So this guy's screaming and stuff, going off.
He sure is. The dog
Because
is
that dog is just tearing his arm up.
Yes, he is.
How did the dog get it?
Well, they brought the dog in through the other side.
But it was locked, even though the window was down. Wait, did you break that window?
I think they broke both windows.
Man.
He still fighting. Yeah, they were still
Man.
fighting.
Man, oh, fight away playing.
Stop the dog. Now stop the dog.
No, they wanted him to turn over on his back and put his, so they can cuff him. And then they were saying that,
Oh, no,
well,
stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. You got the dog on me. How you gonna tell me stop resisting?
so then they said they had to call the paramedics. You have to look at what we're moving to. And that's what I'm saying. When I heard that type of information, I said, no, I don't want y'all to walk around thinking this is what you do. Because you can get yourself hurt. Or you can get a major repair bill because they will break your window.
Yeah.
And they will pull you out of there and they will tase you if they have to.
Medical bills too.
Okay?
I hear you.
All right. So I want you to be, I mean,
But
they,
black men ain't gonna get that far like that. That's we without sovereign education, and we get that, or they get it all. Y'all get that already.
yeah.
Y'all don't even get a chance to say the name, man. No,
But see, remember I told you, this thing is not about black and white. It's about righteousness. Okay? And they made targets of white people. And they were having their soldiers trained to be able to shoot white people. They called them, trying to think of what the name of these targets were. But they were targets. They showed a pregnant white woman with a gun. They showed a little white kid with a gun. Showed an old man with a gun, an old woman with a gun, and they would practice shooting those targets because they wanted to condition their minds to be able to shoot anybody. Right. And the thing is that when you think about, see, the whole thing about the gun thing, the gun control thing, is because they want to get the guns out of the hands of those radical groups, those militia groups they're saying, hey, look, y'all not gonna do us any kind of way. We'll fight back. So they want to get the guns out of their hands. So they're trying to get the public to support their movement to try to remove these types of weapons from these organizations. These organizations
are on the ghetto.
Yeah.
And the small people.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what is that? What is the rednecks called? The supremacies,
White supremacists, those people that are constitutionalists and all that kind of stuff, they're ready to fight.
They're on the battlefield. They have their own places to train.
They train.
So you're saying they train to do the white man? This is not the white supremacy. The white supremacy want them. But there's those who are going against that kind of oppression is there to kill the white cops too.
They will defend themselves in terms of what the Constitution says. Okay, these people, the NRA and all of that kind of stuff. This is what they're doing. They It's their, they feel as though it's their constitutional right to bear arms. And the thing is, you got to think about it. Yeah, I need arms to protect my family. I need arms if this government turns against me. I need to be able to try to protect myself.
Why are you taking the guns out of the neighborhoods? They always say tomorrow going to be a turn-in gun for free, no questions asked.
Because it's the same thing. See, you can't, right? But you can't have a police state with armed citizens. So that's why they want to get the guns out of the citizens' hands. to make this thing
But there's some
easier.
states that are legal.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. The thing is that that's what the push is. This could be a whole nother topic, because I would have to show you the programming and what they're doing to try to get the people's guns. Right.
Panthers didn't allow that.
Right.
And they still don't allow it.
Right. But that's the whole thing. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to program people to support this movement of removing guns from the public. And they use celebrities, right? And look at the contradiction here. You have celebrities. They had this big commercial where they had celebrities saying, "Oh yeah, well you shouldn't have guns," or all this and all that. But then they show them in the movies that they're in, and they're shooting everybody, right? So it's a contradiction.
And then you say when you vote, and you pushing everything, you don't know what you pushing.
Yep.
Say, are you for gun control?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No,
Now.
no. I do.
All right. Go ahead.
Isn't it also true that this is about power, and that they have recognized? Because you know, the police, the cops is one of the biggest gang organizations there is. But they're stating now that the young boys got some artillery that they don't even have. So that's why they're like.
I would say artillery. They don't have.
Well, that's
they
why
have.
the street, them young boys, wherever it's coming from, we know how things get moved.
Well,
they got some things that they don't have. They're losing their power, their fear. There's a lot of fear going on.
Let me tell you this.
So
Their technology is always 25 years ahead of what they give us. If you were to see some of these military-style weapons, it will blow your mind.
Now, military, there's something different.
Right, but they're militarizing police.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
When they come into your neighborhood,
Okay. Let's go to the thing on 15th and Erie.
Yeah,
They had to let down 15th and Erie.
when he had that brother there who shot up everybody.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
Did that.
yeah.
So scared.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. It's moving towards a police state. So be careful with stuff that you hear from people advising you to do certain things because you can get jacked up. And this is one example. All right. But now I wanted to show you one more thing, and I'm busting people windows, but I want to try to move on a little bit. All right. So let's go to the Grammy performances. How many people watch the Grammy?
Grammys?
Yeah. Anybody see it?
I saw it.
So, all right. So this is, I think a rapper. I think her name is Lizzo, a singer rap. All right. But listen, just listen to. Remember, a lot of people always get caught up in the music, but they don't listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
All right. But now watch this. Here we go. Her name is Lizzo. She said she's never been in love before. Once upon a time I was a hoe. So in front of all these people, right? This is what they're saying, and these are people that they put in front of our children as role models. Okay.
And she had to do this to make fame.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Now watch it now.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about going to the liquor store. Okay. She don't want to be a hoe no more. But they always have us still come up here acting like buffoons. Okay? And then this is the model for our children. Okay? But now, here we go. Now I want you to hear this. This is Alicia Keys' speech. I want you to listen to this speech because it's very interesting. All right, here we go.
Okay, we're back. And here I am in my favorite place at the piano where I always go when I need a little energy. You know what I mean? When I need some good vibes, I come here. So let me give us some background music. Hold on while I talk. Because let me be honest with y'all. It's been a hell of a week. Damn. It's a serious one. Real talk, there's a lot going on. And can I also have a little more piano in my ears, please, so I can properly serenade the people? You know, I need to serenade y'all for a minute. But you know what? I'm proud to be standing here, you know? I am. And I'm proud to be here as an artist, for the artists.
Now this one right here, she's a big Satan worshiper.
Yeah, she looked like
nah,
something.
this one is Billie Eilish.
Looked like something wrong.
She has a song called "All the Good Girls Go to Hell."
Okay.
But in it, she sings lyrics, talking about Lucifer.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But these are the people that they're putting in front of society as role models. Okay. Went straight to the top.
Yeah, I never heard of her.
Oh, well,
Straight up.
I'll bring in some so you can see some clips of her. All right. But now, watch this.
And I feel the energy of all the beautiful artists in this room. It's going to be an amazing night. Amazing night. Because it's a new decade. It's a new decade.
Listen to her, y'all. It's a new decade. It's a new decade. All right? Listen.
And we refuse the negative energy. We refuse the old systems.
We refuse the old systems. All right? So what's the old systems?
Right and wrong.
Right and wrong. All right? Following God's laws. The way we were raised. So now we become the old system, the enemy to the youth. So now they've created this battle between the millennials and the old generation. Our old values against the new millennial values that they've instilled in our children because we've allowed them to teach our children. Right? So this is what's going on. Now watch it. Because it goes back to what Malcolm said. What did he say? When you put the education of your children in the hands of your enemy, your children will become your enemy. The millennials against us. This is the division that they create. Just like they create religious divisions. Right? They got us all messed up. Oh, I'm a Shiite. Oh, I'm a Sunni. Oh, I'm a Salafi. I'm this. I'm that. Right? But Allah says Muslim. And he said, do not break your way of life up into sex. Right? And for people that do that, don't have any part in them in the least. This is what Allah says. Because it's the thing about division. But yet we still pay attention to what these sheikhs and these people are telling us. Follow the Quran. Follow what Allah says. Okay? And stop following man. Okay? And this is how they do it. Even in Christianity. Look at all the different sects. Because division is the key to keeping people apart.